Hi, I'm Michael Bracco, and this is Monsterfy, a live character design demo show where I monsterfy things in as many ways as I can on this giant canvas. And today's theme is pizza. I love pizza. So much, in fact, I even designed this Pizza Monster t-shirt. But before we get started, I really just want to say thank you. This is our second episode, and the first one, so many of you, so many more than I could have possibly imagined, watched, liked, subscribed, shared it with friends, and even better than that, a lot of you drew along. And you sent me those drawings. And I really want to share those with you, but there's a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show two right now. And then at the end of the episode, I'm going to show a big barrage of all the other ones that were sent in. So please stay tuned to the end to see other people's versions of octopuses and squids and tentacly creatures and the like. Now, let's get started. So like I said, today's theme is pizza. And if you remember from last time, when the theme was octopuses, I started by just drawing an octopus. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to start by just drawing a slice of pizza. So I have, this time, brought myself a photo of pizza. I'm going to take that, I'm going to tape it up here. All right. And again, the first thing I want to do is just draw the thing that I see. So I look at this, it's kind of a triangle shape, but you'll see the top is a little bit rounded. So I'm actually going to start with my trusty orange marker. You can use a Crayola if you'd like. You can use a colored pencil if you're working small. And then I'm just going to round the top. And you can see we have our pizza. Now, I'm going to trade off my marker for my brush and ink. And I'm just going to kind of go in and try to match some of the textures and details I see. So I'm going to start with the crust. You can see with the brush I can really kind of vary the thickness of my line and get that nice crusty McCrusterson texture that you see on really good pizza, right? And then on the sides, I'm not going to go so straight. I'm going to get a little bit of a wobbly line. And then I'm just gonna match exactly what I see here. Again, if I was just gonna copy this photo and then pass it off like it was my art, that's not cool. But I can learn a lot from drawing from a photo and then use it in my own designs. So just big circles. And now I wanna give a little bit of texture to the pepperoni. Just a few dots on each one. And then some nice ooey gooey drippiness. Pizza isn't good unless it's like ooey gooey good. Okay, and there we have our pizza. All right, so now how do we bring this to life? Now I'm gonna do something that I do in my classroom. So other than making comic books and doing the t-shirt design, I'm also a middle school art teacher. And one of the things I like to do is I like to show how to take inanimate objects and add personalities and character to them. And I like to show it in side view because there's a lot of structural stuff that you have to get to know. So I'm going to show this similarly to that, but all of my drawings today are going to face that way, just for consistency's sake, and hopefully this will help you draw along. Oh, and don't forget, just like those of you who did it last time, I encourage you to draw along with me, to try this on your own, and then to send me your drawings. You can email them to me at monsterfytheworld@gmail.com. All right, so we're gonna do this one more time. I'm gonna draw it right here. I'm gonna draw my pizza. I'm gonna, again, start with my gesture drawing. I'm gonna start with my triangle. I'm gonna round out the top. All right, now, from rounding out the top, I'm gonna, again, just start with the crust. It's a little different than last time, but that's fine. No two crusts are the same. And it's good to have fun with playing around with the different possibilities of textures and lines. Okay? Now I'm not going to touch this side right here. Like I said, everything's going to face that way. I'm going to leave this alone. But I am going to get that jiggly, wiggly, cheesy line on this side. All right. Now right here, here is where we put the face. And in side view, your face gets pretty bumpy. You get this like forehead, nose, lip, chin. And that big open eating hole of your mouth is in between those lips. So in order to do this, what we're going to do is we're going to start at the top, and I'm going to give it a forehead, and I'm going to turn it into a big brow, and add an eye right there. Why are you making him so angry? This is Monsterfy. This isn't Happify. This is a monster pizza. We're going to give him a big old angry eye. All right? Now, we've got that big brow into the eye. Next, we're going to bring it out into a nose. I don't want the nose too long. Give it a cheek line. Then I'm going to get a big upper lip. Bring that corner of the mouth down into a big bottom lip. A little chin right here. And I can get some of that cheesy factor. I can get the teeth. I always like to make a little angle there and hint at some of those teeth in the back, but not too much in the front. We've got a nice angry pizza. All right? Now I can go back in with the remaining space. I can add a few pepperoni, add some of my ooey gooey goodness. Let's get a little drip. I love a good drip. Let's see if I can get a natural one. Come on. There you go. Nice ooey gooey drip of pizza. There we go. Nice drip. All right. And there we have a pizza brought to life who may bite back. But there's more we can do, because that's just a face. If we really want to monsterfy it, we need to be able to think about a face, about how to make it look like a pizza, and then about the body language, the body itself. And we need to do that. We want to add some arms, some legs, but most importantly, we want to add a spine. We want this pizza to be hunched forward, really like coming at somebody like they're just gonna ooey and gooey all over their heads before eating them whole. So what I'm gonna do is, again, I pull out my orange marker, and I'm gonna start with a spine, okay? And by that, all I mean is this. I'm just gonna bring a curved line, like I'm hunching a spine. Now, that triangle shape, I'm gonna come down here, and I'm gonna make that kind of go along with that spine, and then round out that top, okay? So we have right here, hope you can see it okay, we have right here the same thing as this, but it's curved forward. Next, we want to think about arms and legs, and we have to think about where they grow from, so we have to think about the shoulders and the hips. Now, when you look at somebody in front view, their shoulders and their hips, you see two of each, and they're on the left and right side of the body. But in side view, you only see one shoulder and one hip, and both legs come from it from opposite sides of the body. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to think about where that's going to go. And first, the hip, I'm going to just put a big old circle right here. And then thinking about where he is, I'm going to put the arm coming out from over here. I'm going to put a hip right here. Now, I want him to really like kind of stomp forward. So I'm going to add one leg here. And if this doesn't make sense, don't worry, it will when I'm just roughing it in and trying to figure things out. I'm going to have one hand going down here. And then I'm going to think about where it's coming from here, from this shoulder down and forward, to give it a nice fist right there. All right, I don't need that anymore. Come back to the brush. Just like always, I'm going to start with the crust. All right, so now that I've kind of gotten the crust going and I'm coming down the back, I'm gonna come on over here and get that face in. So just like before, I'm gonna get that big heavy brow. And that big old eyeball. This time though, I'm not gonna give him a nose. He's not an actual human being. We can get rid of that. And instead of giving him teeth, let's just give him some like ooey gooey gummy teeth, just oozing and hot and sticky, which sounds both horrifying and frankly delicious. I'm getting really hungry. How about you? Is this appetizing? All right, and now I'm gonna leave that alone for a bit, and I'm gonna come down here, but I'm gonna stop, because here we have our hip, and that's where the leg's gonna come from. So I'm going to make a big cheese leg, and I want it to come forward like this, so forward and down, and hit the ground. So I'm gonna add some drips as I go, trying not to drip on my shoes. Ah, there we go. And then just a big goo pile of a foot. Oh, big splats maybe. And again, I'm using a brush. I can really have fun just inventing lines and still making it feel like cheese, and just oh, it's great and nasty and fun. So now I've got here, I'm gonna get that bottom of the pizza. It's important to get that point. There we go. Oh, got a drip. I love a drip. All right, now, before I do the back here, I'm leaving this open to get the arm in. So I'm gonna start with that shoulder. Make some drips come from the shoulder. All right, and then, oh, there we go. That's a good big cheese arm. You don't want to get smacked with one of those, right? All right. Okay. So now, on the other side, now we've got the arm and leg from like the side that's facing you, but you can still see bits of the other arm and leg. So this is going to come from behind the pizza here. I'm going to use a little less detail because it's the back leg, and maybe even add a little bit more darkness to kind of contrast with it. But I don't want to lose that ooey gooiness. I feel like I'm on the Food Network, doing a cooking show. And then over here, same thing. I imagine it coming from the same place as the other arm. I'm gonna have a little bit of fun with the fingers here. There we go. All right, and again, I want to make it look like it's coming from the other side, so I'm going to darken it as it tucks behind the other side. And then the last thing I want to do is the inside of the mouth, because just how we can see how this arm comes from behind the body and this arm comes from the front of the body, we should be able to see the front and back of the mouth to really make it look open. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it in back here, and then add a few of those little drips. And now, maybe even like like it's kind of shot out of there. I kind of just smacked it with my brush. And then we've got this really fun, like lumbering forward, cheesy pizza monster with no toppings, because that's how it is best. All right, so now what we've done is we've looked at a photograph, we've drawn a photograph, we've added a face to what we learned from that photograph, and then talked about adding spine, arms, and legs. Now, let's make a different type of creature. Well, forget a piece of pizza. Let's draw a pizza pie with a slice taken out for the mouth. All right, and then, again, it's a four-legged beast. Kind of like a dog. We're all stuck inside right now, but one thing you're allowed to go outside for is to walk your dog. So what if we had a monster pizza pet? I bet it would be really easy to keep people 6 feet away if you had a giant pizza dog monster. All right, so that means it's still got hips and shoulders, but now they're both towards the bottom. I'm always going to make the back, the hip, a little bit bigger than the front. Most animals, their hind legs, where it goes right up into their butts, is really thick, and a lot of muscle for running. What else can I change? For instance, it's inside view, but I don't have to have it have 2 eyes like a person. In fact, let's have a bunch of eyes. Yeah, let's do that. Let's have a bunch of eyes. So I'm going to start right here. Just going to go with a circle. And then I'm going to make them like really wide-eyed with that little eyeball. Now I've got 3 eyes. Ah, what the heck? Let's do another one. Let's do one up here. Oh yeah, it's grotesque. I like it. All right, let's bring have fun with that line. Again, with that brush, I get to really have fun with the weight of the line, the thickness of the line, real thin in some places, real thick in others. But it doesn't have to be perfect. This is about coming up with ideas. And I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting the eye here to feed right into the crust. It's like growing out of the pizza crust. And that's kind of the fun. I'm not worried about doing everything perfectly. I'm really just worried about having fun with it and being, in this case, just gross and monsterific. And, building my perfect pizza pet. All right. So I'm going to build the mouth. And I really liked this whole, like, cheesy mouth. So let's continue that. Right. So we've got that top line of the mouth. I really want him to look like he's like just like spitting out that hot and melty cheese of deliciosity. There we go. All right. Now I've got a little empty space here. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with that yet. Maybe that's where our toppings will go. Not all of us eat meat. I love mushrooms on pizza. I absolutely adore them. So I'm actually going to draw a mushroom right here. Just thinking about that shape, some of the textures, and then some of the goo of the cheese that would surround it. Okay. Now let's get these legs in. I forgot to really gesture them in, so now's as good a time as any. I'm going to take this, and a dog or a cat or some sort of like 4-legged animal, their arms bend forward like this. And then the other leg would also come back to like that same spot. Their back legs are going to come back before coming down. Okay. Sometimes they come more than that, but I want him to have that like cute, like cartoony butt that you see, and leg that you see in a lot of cartoons. But I also want to make it as gross as possible. All right, and again, the other leg won't come down quite as far. So now, I really want to go in here and again, continuing with all that cheesiness. I don't want to do the same thing, that cheese leg that I did here, and I want to make him kind of ferocious. So I'm going to come down, and I still want to use cheese in the leg, but now I'm going to give it like a big old claw. Maybe I'm going to add some black into there to make it stand out. And then I'm going to add a second one behind it, add a little more cheese, and a third one behind that. Oh yeah, all right, there we go. And then I'm going to get the front leg, or the facing us hind leg, over here. And again, it's all about these drips. Love a good drip. And I don't want the back feet to be quite as heinously sharp and dangerous as the front ones. So I'm going to go a little bit more like elephant feet. Still going to add some black into them to add that contrast. Now with this one, I don't want it, like these back two, they're a little tucked together. I don't like that. It's not my favorite thing in the world. So this one I want to bring the foot forward a little bit. So I'm going to kind of change its position. Again, add some darkness into that to create that contrast. And let's get a shadow underneath him. Really plant him on the ground. All right. Well, you know what? I think we've got just enough room for one more little mushroom right here. Awesome. All right. So it looks like we've got room for one more. And I wanted to kind of, like, so far I've done this, like, taken a piece of pizza, added face, arms, and legs. I've made the most adorable pet ever. If you have a suggestion of what to name our new pet, please email them at monsterfytheworld@gmail.com. But now I want to do something a little bit more humanistic, like somebody who has just turned into some horrible beast. Maybe a chef had radioactive, or a pizza chef had radioactive ooze drip on him and the pizza and turn him into some horrible beast. So I'm going to change the angle of the pizza. And I'm going to, again, use my gesture marker and draw my pizza this way. Okay, and then it's a chef, so I want to give him, I want to think about his humanistic body language, so I'm kind of blocking in where his chest would be, and then where his shoulder would be. And I really want to give him this, like, kind of pose. I'm going to start, just as I always have, with the crust. Okay. Now, when I get to the eye, instead of using a human eye, hey, I'll take an idea from my shirt. By the way, if you do like these, you can get them at my online shop. It's Spaghetti Kiss, which is my company name, on Etsy. So spaghettikiss.etsy.com if you'd like to check out this and other t-shirt designs that I've done. All right, so because of the idea for my shirt, I'm going to start with a big pepperoni and then use some cheese to create that angry brow, okay? And then maybe I'll use an olive. I hated olives as a kid. And then one day, for whatever reason, my taste buds just said, nope, I like these now. And I have no idea how that happened. So now, I, most of the time, love a good olive. All right, let's get some more drips. And then I'm gonna bring the mouth, kind of the top line of the mouth, way back there. And then let's bring this up. Oh, look, I made it so like the top of the mouth and the bottom of the mouth kind of connect in this weird way. All right. And then of course I'm gonna get that other side of the mouth going. All right, so we've got this horrible pizza face. I'm gonna give him the chef's collar. One thing about a chef's outfit that I think of, I don't know what it's called, but they have these really cool ways that they button up, where there's like a flap that goes over and the buttons that come down. I think it's to keep any food from getting in the clothes or any, you know, contamination from getting out of the clothes. I want the buttons to really look like buttons so they don't get confused later on with spits of hot melty cheese. And then I'm gonna put, I think they're called epaulets. So there we have the top of his coat. Now I want to get onto his shoulder. And I always like to get some folds in clothing. You can see this weird little squiggle that feeds back into the sleeve itself. I want this hand to look like it's coming towards us. So I use a lot of these curved lines to show that it's rounding away from us. Okay, and now for his hand. Again, I want this to look like a human being has been slowly mutated into an ooze of cheese. So let's give him fingers that look like they've just started to turn. So I'm gonna start with this pointer finger here. Oh, and just build it out of all sorts of weird, nasty, ooey, good, gooey deliciousness. This guy looks like he's a nice guy. I bet if you were really hungry, he'd let you like take a finger for a snack. Cool. All right, so there's our first hand. Like that. All right, and then I'm gonna bring, I didn't mean it, but this guy's starting to look like a mad scientist too. Which, if you saw our last episode, we had a mad scientist octopus design. And that was a lot of fun to do. But even if this does turn out to be kind of a mad scientist, that's fine. Who cares? It's a very different one from last week. All right, let's get this other arm in. All right, we're almost there. Let's have fun with this hand as well. Just blasting out with cheese. Legs. I don't really know if he needs legs, but we can probably just make him like a big, ooey, cheesy mess just exploding out. I'm gonna bring this all the way out to the end and crop it off the edges of the paper. Yeah. Okay. And there we have it. There's our gigantic cheesy monster. Let's add a few more pepperoni. We can never have enough pepperoni. And there we have it. So, all said and done, I think we have made some pretty grotesque things. Now I really want pizza. This has been Monsterfy. Thank you so much for watching. Again, please send me your drawings, monsterfytheworld@gmail.com, and like, subscribe, share this, help me get the word out, and hopefully this is a fun thing to do while you're stuck inside. Or bring it outside and draw outdoors and listen to all the bird songs, just like I love to do. Thank you very much.